Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki Hunter. I am the owner of Esk and Ivy. I am also a pregnancy and postnatal yoga instructor, as well as a mindfulness teacher as well. So at the moment, I'm running online mum and baby yoga classes and pregnancy yoga classes, and I also have a few different mindfulness resources as well. But today you're obviously here for the mum and baby yoga, so after a little delayed start there, we'll get going as soon as possible. I've got just a little bit of admin, I guess, to run through with you guys. So it's just to let you know who this class is really suitable for. You know, you go through a wonderful time growing a baby and birthing a baby. So we really don't want you to come to class too early before you're fully ready and strong enough to start practicing. So we usually recommend that you wait to 6 weeks minimum before you would try this class. And then you're free to join in, listening to your body as we go. If you had to have additional stitches for whatever reason, or your baby was born abdominally, that's hard to say, we would recommend that you wait till you're about 8 to 12 weeks, depending on your birth. You know your birth best, you know your body best, so you will know whether or not you can join in. I've got adaptations in different levels for all different stages of mum. I'm sure we've got people going right up to a year, so I'll definitely shout out some modifications for you. And again, the key is to listen to your body. I had an abdominal birth with my daughter, and I was completely guilty of trying to rush back to things a bit too soon, and I would push it too far, and then the next week I wouldn't really be able to go as much as I did the week before. So just really listen to what's going on in your body. I have a little baby over here. She's not real. She's called Charlotte. She's lying down there. I'll introduce you in a minute. So it's really easy for me to do these poses with a baby that doesn't move, that weighs next to nothing. So again, listen to your body. When we come up to standing postures, we have a couple of balances. And if you don't quite feel comfortable holding the baby while doing those balancing, you are more than welcome to pop them down while we do that. Like I say, it's all well and good for me to stand there balancing all great, but my little baby's not moving and she doesn't weigh a ton. So listen to your body, listen to your baby. Again, you're free to feed or do whatever you need or your baby needs. Feel free to drop out for a pause, take a rest and come back in. Again, if you are pregnant with your second baby, congratulations. You're welcome to join in with this. There's nothing in here that would adversely affect you from pregnancy. We do tend to recommend that you don't do any yoga pre-12 weeks. So if that's the case for you, maybe just sit out a lot of the more challenging postures and just join in the baby section. And if you're over 12 weeks pregnant and you're up to full term, then you're free to join in. Again, there's probably certain postures that you think, I'm not doing this, Nikki. And that's perfectly fine. Just listen to your body and listen to your baby, and I'll stop talking and we'll get on with it and we'll have a lovely time. And apologies for my singing. I'm not the best singer, so feel free to sing a bit louder and drown me out if needs be. So I've had to switch over from my iPad here to my laptop. So I'm hoping that you can all see me there. I'll leave you with my couch as well. I'll come over and I'll sit down and we'll get started. So a couple of things that you might find useful to have, you might find useful to have during the session is a blanket for baby to lie on. A yoga mat isn't necessary. If you've got, just take your socks off. And if you've got like a sort of non-slip area in the house, that would perhaps be a little bit better, so you can run through that. And if you've got a baby, of course you've got a baby, if you've got a blanket for yourself, that might be quite useful because we're going to be sitting for a little bit of time, so you might want to put a little bit of padding under your bottom, or if you're like me and you've got terrible knobbly knees and a wooden floor, that's sometimes quite comfortable as well. And just one last note, I'm just going to talk about baby's head control, because again, we've got various mums and babies here today, and obviously I can't see you today. So just working with your baby's head control, I'll offer different positions for baby, and you know your baby best. And if you think, no, they can't manage that, then again, you can just let them sit that one out. So this is baby Charlotte, named by my 6-year-old. You can tell she's an only child and is desperate for a little sibling. So this is her baby Charlotte, my yoga doll that's been commandeered by her. So she's joining us today. I've also got a little rattle. So it's just a good distraction technique for them if you've got a rattle nearby as well. So let's get started. We're just going to come into a comfortable position for you and for baby. If you're a bit older with a bit of good head control, you can cuddle them in, or if they're a bit younger, you can have them up and over your shoulder. And we're just going to take a couple moments here to really settle into the practice, tune into our breathing, and hopefully try to get baby to tune into their breathing. So a technique that my mum and baby yoga teacher told me many, many years ago, 6 years ago, was that often a baby will tune into your breathing. So when you're a bit stressed, your breath becomes a bit shallow, they tune into that. So in holding them close and in elongating your breath, that sense of calm that comes over you can start to come over baby as well. So we're just going to take a couple of minutes to start to get used to that. And I always start off my classes doing this, just to feel like it's going to fit baby, you know, like to pat their bottom. It's just human nature, isn't it? So just holding them close, settling the eyes down, really feeling grounded into the floor beneath you. So feeling those sitting bones being supported by whatever is beneath you. Bringing your attention to the breath as it flows in and out of the body. You're welcome to take a little walk here, maybe a little bit unsettled, and just really slowing down the breath as it comes into the body and it goes out of the body. So breathing in yoga is traditionally done, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, but it's that time of year we all get a little bit stuffy. So you are welcome to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, whatever way is good for you, as long as you're taking some slow, deep breaths. So in and out, in and out. Really feeling those shoulder blades beginning to drop down, feeling the space between the ears and the neck and the shoulders, really elongating. And with every breath you take in, every breath that you take out, feeling a little bit more calm, a little bit more relaxed. And knowing that this breath that connects you to baby here now with them on the outside was the same breath that connected to them to you while they were inside your tummy. Every breath that you took, they took, and now you can use that breath as a tool for anchoring you both together now. The breath is such a useful anchor for when things get a little bit much in a day and we need to slow things down and just take a moment for you and for the baby. Knowing that there's nowhere else you need to be right now than here with them, taking time out together. And just taking another couple of breaths here, in through the nose. And we'll just take one big last sigh out. As we start to bring some gentle movement into the body. So if you want, you might want to place them down in front of you, or if they're a bit bigger, they can come sitting in your lap. And we're just going to take some gentle neck rolls here. So you can do this with your eyes closed, your eyes open if you're keeping an eye on them. Just tucking the chin down slightly. So you've got a nice long neck, sitting up nice and tall, drawing the shoulder blades back, and then rolling the chin up to the right shoulder, just pausing at the right hand side for a moment. And then bringing it back down to the centre and up to the left-hand side for a moment. And just staying with the breath, rocking from one shoulder to the other. So really trying throughout the practice, I know it's difficult with the baby there with you, but trying to connect movement to breath. When we move and breathe at the same time, it really helps us to be grounded in this moment, rather than letting our mind travel off to what happened before we came to this class, or the hundreds of things that we've got to do after the class finishes. Just trying to stay here in the moment. And then on the last roll, coming back to centre, sitting up nice and tall, we're going to take some shoulder rolls. This is something that I'm not very good at, so just stay with me. We're going to roll the shoulders forward, up to the ears, and then back and down and round. So really squeezing the shoulder blades together when you get to the back. Then rolling them forward, up to the ears and back down and round. So keep that going another couple of times. And then back the other way. So now we're drawing the shoulder blades back, up and round. So this can be really useful when you start, if you're breastfeeding or if you're bottle feeding or if you're bathing or if you're walking in the pram. We tend to be hunched all the time. And this rolling of the shoulders really starts to open up the chest and release the shoulders. So I was really guilty of having burning in my shoulders from all the feeding and pushing and sling wearing. And this rolling of the shoulders and really focusing on squeezing the shoulder blades together can really help with the overstretching that goes on in the shoulder blades as a result of us sitting hunched all the time. So from here, we're going to take some gentle twists again. I want to open up the shoulder space. You can either have baby sitting here, but I'm just going to move Charlotte out of the way for a second so that you can see me. And then we're going to take our arms up and overhead, pausing at the top, really squeezing those shoulder blades together, then bringing the left hand down to the knee and the right hand behind you. And if you can, taking a little turn over that right shoulder. If that's too much, you can look forward. And this is a position, if you had an abdominal birth, that you need to be really mindful of, that you don't want to overstretch into that. So really listening to your body. I said I had a C-section with my daughter, and you can feel a gentle tug. So when you feel that, don't go any further. That's your body telling you you've gone far enough. And then coming back up, raising the hands up, and coming back down the other side. So this time placing the left hand onto, the right hand onto the left knee. I'm sorry guys, I don't know my left from my right, so stay with me with that one. Opening up the shoulders, rolling that left shoulder back, and if you can, looking over the left shoulder. Again, if that's too much, you can look forward. And really focusing on drawing the tummy muscles in here. So that part just below your belly button is the part of the abdominal muscles we really want to be focusing on today. So really working to draw that back in all our postures. And we'll come up again and we'll just flow a little quicker this time. Come on one side, back up, and back to the other side, and then back to center. So now we're going to start to open the chest again further. So we roll those shoulders up and back like we did the last time, and then bring the chest slightly forward, really drawing in on the tummy muscles, keeping the lower back straight, and then rolling up and round, and sinking in and tucking the pelvis under if you can, so that you're opening up the part of the lower back. And we're going to keep that flowing forward and back, and forward and back. And then here we're just going to bring the arms round in front, clasping the hands together. If you can, I know you've got a baby sitting in between your knees probably, stretching out so you really feel the space between the shoulders grow, and then just dipping the head down in between those arms. Again, connecting in with the breath. If you take a deeper breath here, then you'll feel the stretch across the upper back a little bit more, and that might feel quite nice. And then from here, taking the hands behind, interlacing the hands back, rolling those shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall, really pulling in those tummy muscles to support the lower back and the tummy, and stretching into the chest. And then from here, we're going to come back to center, placing our hands on our knees. We're just going to take a little moment or two to focus on the pelvic floor. So again, if you are fairly new in having your baby, it might be an idea just to sit and breathe with us rather than engaging the pelvic floor. Obviously, I don't know all your different histories about your birth. So if you're unsure at all, or you're still fairly tender in the pelvic floor area, it might be an idea just to sit and breathe with this one. But if you want to join in, we're going to inhale and just let everything soften and release. And you're saying everything is soft and released down there. And then we're going to exhale, and what we're going to imagine doing is drawing all the bones of the pelvis together, as if we were drawing the tailbone towards the pubic bone and the two sitting bones together. And that action, that imagination of bringing those bones together is the point at where we're going to engage the pelvic floor. So just sitting for a second, we're going to inhale, soften and release, exhale, engage and lift. Inhale, soften and release. Exhale, lift and engage. Inhale, soften and release. Exhale, lift and engage. And then from here, we're going to start to involve baby a bit more, because I'm sure they're fed up, sitting waiting on us. So if you can, we're going to adopt a wide leg pose here. If that's not comfortable for you, you're more than welcome to come back to a cross leg position. And then whatever baby's age, we're going to lift them up and pop them in between our legs. And we're going to start with this. This is meant to be a 4-month-old baby. It's more like a 6-month-old baby, so I'm going to get kicked in the stomach here. Here we go. And then we're going to engage our abs. So we're really focusing on pulling those tummy muscles in towards the spine. And we're going to start to gently maneuver back and forward. And this is where a little rattle might come in handy. And as we go, we're going to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and Sorry for the Voice. So off we go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Yay! And then from there, we're going to pick baby up. And again, if they've got good head control, they can be facing out. Or if not, they might want to be on your shoulder. And we're going to bring the soles of our feet together as close to the body as we can. And pop baby in there. And we're just going to butterfly our legs. So just taking a little bounce in the legs. Their arms can get involved as well if you want. You can both stand there or sit there like beautiful butterflies. Just releasing through those hip flexors, which might be a little bit tight from all the carrying and slings and everything else. And then from here, we're going to come back and work our abs again. So again, if you're fairly new, or your baby's really new, I would recommend that you keep your feet out in front and try and focus on sitting up nice and tall. For everybody else, we're going to take the boat pose from yoga. So having your knees at sort of 45-degree angle, baby sitting on top of your knees, and again, only working to what feels good for your body and your abs. We're going to really engage the abdominal muscles while we sing. Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yay! And then another twice, just to really work those abs. And again, if you need to, you can lower the legs. You don't have to rock back and forward. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yay! One more time just to feel the burn. Here we go. Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yay! And then from there, we're going to come over into a tabletop position. So again, just laying baby on the floor in front of you, down on a blanket if you'd like. And then coming over into an all fours position. So we want to, blanket there. If you've got knobbly knees, you can feel free to pop your blanket underneath your knees, if that is good for you. And then we're going to come over in a tabletop position. So arms directly under your wrists, directly under your elbows, knees directly under your hips. Hopefully you can see my back position. I'm going to shuffle back, shuffle, 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 so that you can see that I'm keeping a really neutral spine. Really working on focusing and pulling those tummy muscles in and not dipping in the back. This position is a position that we all love to be in because it just feels so nice. But we're putting pressure through our back and we're putting pressure through our abs. So we really want to, where possible, be in a lovely neutral spine position. So the first level that we're going to work to here is we're just going to do some cat and gentle cows. So you're going to push the heels of your hands into the floor, tuck the pelvis under, pull in on the pelvic floor, pull in the abs, and round into the shoulders. Bring the bottom back towards the feet, straighten out the lower back, and then come forward. So we're going to do another 2 times, and then we're going to level up on it. So pushing into the heels of the hand, tucking the pelvis under, rounding up into the shoulders, bringing the bottom back towards the feet, flattening out the back, coming forward. One more time, tucking the pelvis, rounding into the shoulders, bringing the bottom back towards the feet, flattening out and coming back. Now you can either stay with this. If you're 6 months postpartum, you can come into a full plank. Planking isn't always helpful in the first 6 months of postpartum period, so we really try to avoid planking if possible. But if you're 6 months postpartum, then feel free to come into a plank. Everybody else, we're going to swoop and kiss the baby. So we're going to do as we did before. We're going to push into the heels of the hands, tuck the pelvis under, round up into the spine, bring the bottom back towards the feet. This time we're going to dip into the elbows, swoop forward, and give baby a kiss on the nose, and round it back up. If you don't like that, you don't have to take the dip. It's totally up to you. So 2 more times, tucking the pelvis, rounding up into the shoulders, bringing the bottom back, tipping the elbows, coming forward, and giving baby a kiss. 1 more time, tucking the pelvis, rounding the shoulders, bottom back towards the feet, dipping the elbows, coming forward, and giving them a kiss. Yay, well done, guys. So from here, we're going to come into a superwoman position, because you're all superwomen for birthing in a pandemic. Let's face it, birthing and parenting in a pandemic automatically makes you a superwoman. So from here, we're coming back into that box position again, and we've got various levels here, so just stay with wherever you want to be. We're going to slide the toes back from the left foot, pushing into the toes if you like, and really engaging those abdominal muscles. If you're between 6 to 12 weeks postpartum, stay here. Everybody else, you can lift that back foot by squeezing the bum cheeks together. Really focusing on pulling those tummy muscles in. And if you like, you can add in the opposite arm to feel the balance and feel the burn a little bit more. Look how unbalanced I am, and I've got a 6-year-old rather than a baby that's still got weak abs. And then if you don't like that, you can bring the hand back down, and then we'll drop the toes and bring the toes back in. And then switching over to the other side, we're going to slide the right toes out, staying here and pushing into the toes, really squeezing the ab muscles. If you want, you can stay here, or you can lift that back foot, squeezing the bum cheeks together, engaging the abs and lifting the back foot. You're more than welcome to stay here or lower the foot, or if you'd like, you can take out that opposite arm now and balance on the opposite side. Really pulling in those tummy muscles, really squeezing together the bum cheeks. And then dropping that left hand back down, dropping the toes, and then bringing the feet in and coming back to kneel. And if you like, you can grab a little drink here. My heating is finally back on, so I'm now melting. Haven't been days in the chiller, so it's quite nice. Got the opposite problem there. Okay, so from here, we're going to come up to stand by a downward dog. So we're going to leave baby on the floor, bringing the hands again underneath their sort of arms so that you're in that tabletop position, tucking the toes under, and then we're going to put our bum in the air like we just don't care. So rising up with the bottom, stretching the legs out, engaging the tummy muscles, having a really nice flat back. If you want, you can have a little pedal off the feet. And then from here, we're going to come up to stand by bringing the hands back to the feet, rolling up really slowly. Head comes up last. If you suffer from dizziness or anemia, take a little breath at the top before we move on. So we're going to come into a forward bend now. So just coming forward slightly so that your feet are in front of baby. We're going to take a little forward bend. So we've got that really nice neutral spine going on. So again, focus on tipping that pelvis forward, tailbone comes down towards the feet. Imagine that you're standing up really nice and tall. And from here, we're going to bend at the hips. So coming all the way down and taking a little rag position. So just swaying from side to side, bending in the knees and skipping up baby underneath the arms. So I'm going to move this out of the way before doing myself an injury. And we're going to come into some standing postures before coming back down and doing some yoga for baby, because I'm sure they're starting to get a little bit antsy by now. So from here, we're going to come to a standing position, feet hip width apart, taking a nice little bend in the knee just to protect the knees. If you'd like, baby can stay up here, or if they've got good neck control, you can bring them facing forward. I'm going to take some big hip circles so that we can show baby the floor, show baby the ceiling, show baby the floor, show them the ceiling, and then back the other way, show them the floor, show them the ceiling, and back again, show them the floor, and show them the ceiling. And then from here, we're going to take a standing pose, a squat, which is called goddess, because again, we're all goddesses here. If you did need a few stitches in the pelvic floor, or if you're still quite tender from your birth, take this into a very narrow squat. I'm just standing out of the way here so you can see my legs. So feet hip width apart and taking a little kneel. For everybody else, we're going to come into a wide-legged squat. So your feet will be turned out at a 10 and a 2 position, really focusing on drawing that tailbone down towards the floor, then bending in the knees and coming all the way down. And we'll just take a little bounce here to keep baby entertained. And you're saying, very good, you've got a doll, I've got the weight of a whole baby here. And then coming back up and having a little shake, 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 shake. And then coming down and bouncing with our little kettlebell. Here we go. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Coming back up. Shaking it out. One last time. Bouncy, bouncy, bounce. And hold. Just to feel the heat burning in the thighs a little bit more, and maybe you can sink a little bit lower, maybe not, and then coming back up to rise and shaking, shaking, shaking out. We're then going to heel toe our feet together and come into some tree postures. So this is where you might not feel comfortable balancing with baby, and that's fine. You're more than welcome to pop them onto the floor. If not, you can bring them up onto the shoulder. We're going to ground into our left foot, so really feeling balanced into the left foot. If you need to come near something for support, you're more than welcome to do that. And then what we're going to do is take the right toes out, slide them back towards the ankles, really work on rotating that knee out to feel it in the bum cheek. And if you're feeling good here, and you're feeling balanced, you can raise it up to the calf. That might feel quite good. And if you want an extra challenge, you can try and bring it up to the inner thigh. Not placing the foot on the knee, because you can put extra strain through the knee there. And then wherever you are, just focusing on a soft spot in a different distance, taking a couple of extra breaths. And then releasing the leg down and swapping over to the other side. You might want to swap baby over this side just to equilibrate the balance. Grounding into the right foot, taking the left toes out to the side, sliding them in. To the ankle, turning that knee out if you can. Maybe you want to place it on the calf, and that's great. Or if you can always bring that up into the inner thigh. And taking a few breaths here. There's beautiful trees. Feeling grounded and rooted to the floor beneath you. You're totally supported. Feeling totally grounded. And then bringing that foot back in. Gently placing it back on the floor, maybe having a little wiggle with the legs. We're going to do one last standing pose before we come down and do some yoga for baby. So we're going to take a warrior pose here. So you're going to come to quite a wide-legged stance again. Taking the left toes pointing in, and then the right toes pointing out, the heel lining up with the inner inside, what's that called again? Your arch, there we go. The arch of your foot, so that you're in a nice alignment. And then taking a big bend in the knee. Now this knee should not be over your ankle like this. That puts pressure through your knee. So if that happens, you need to have a longer stance so that the knee is stacked perfectly above the ankle. Then we're really sinking into that knee. And if you like, baby's not got great head control, you can keep baby here. Really focusing on having the hips pointing towards me. If they're old enough, you can sit them on the knee and have a little bounce. And then taking that back arm out and looking forward. So the symbolism in yoga is you're looking forward into the future, and that back arm is where you've come from. So smiling into the future and all that that might hold. And then bringing baby back up. Turning in the right toes this time, turning out the left toes, and then taking a nice sink into that left knee. Just checking your alignment, making sure that you've got the knee perfectly stacked over the ankle. Again, you can maybe hold baby up at the shoulders. Arms out to the back again, hips facing towards me, or again, we can take baby onto the knee. Woo, bending an arm back here, that's terrible. Arm out. So she was just trying to run in with the warrior pose, that's what it was. Looking into the future, smiling, meeting it as a warrior, whatever it may hold. Taking some nice deep breaths. Feeling the heat building in the thighs. And then turning the feet back in, bringing the feet back together. We are going to come down to sit, however it's good for you, however you want to get onto the floor. There's no special way of doing it. And we are going to have some yoga for baby, because they will be desperate for it by now, I'm sure. So you might want to pop them on a blanket in front of you. I'm going to do that just now. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm just monitoring the volume on my laptop. It looks like it's picking me up, so that's quite good. Hope you can hear me. Or maybe it's a good thing you can't hear my singing. I don't know. Sure you'll let me know afterwards. Okay, so while we're going to do some yoga for baby, you can come to whatever position is good for you. So if it's sitting kneeling, that's great. We're going to be here for a wee while though. So you might want to have your feet out in front of you. Trying in whatever position to sit nice and tall, or I personally like to sit with one leg in, and I'm sitting up really nice and tall. And then from here, we're just going to get baby ready for the sensations of us touching them. So we're going to take our twinkling hands again, twinkle, 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 twinkle down your face, into the shoulders, give them a light little squeeze, maybe tickling of the fingers, rubbing down the tummy, squeezing into the legs, and a little tickle of the toes. And then one more time, coming forward, twinkle, 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 squeezing into the arms, tickling out the fingers, little tickle of the side body, squeezing into the legs, and a little rub of the feet. And now we're just going to give the babies a little foot rub, because let's face it, who doesn't like a foot rub? So starting with the pads of your thumbs at the heels of their feet. And then you're going to run your thumbs up the arch of their feet, and then across the balls of the feet, down the outside, and then back around again. So when they're really small, their toes are really curled in. So this is quite a nice way of starting to open and uncurl their toes. And if they're starting to explore walking or cruising, you know, the different muscles will be working in the feet. So it's quite nice to just have a little foot rub. And like I say, who doesn't love a foot rub? Just really working into their little feet here. And then from there, we're going to let their legs come back down. And now we're going to work into their tummy and hopefully get that digestive system moving. If any of them have got a little bit of constipation going on. So you're going to take the 3 fingers of your right hand and keep moving the whole time. So we're going to, I'll just picture it up so you can see. You're going to start underneath the belly button and up and round and over the belly button. So big circular movements in a clockwise direction. I'm not sure if I did that clockwise in the demonstration. My brain can't work that back to front way. Anyway, so we keep that going. We're going to say round and round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, and tickle you under there. And then we're going to do that another 2 times. Round and round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, tickle you under there. 1 last time. You might be getting some noises now. Round and round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, and tickle you under there. And then from here, we're just going to start to open up their chest a bit now as well. So we're going to bring the hands together into a little baby yogi prayer. And then we're just going to work to open and close the shoulders. So we're going to say, open and close, open and close. Give yourself a cuddle. Open and close, open and close. Don't get in a muddle. And then just another time, just really work into those shoulders. Open and close, open and close. Give yourself a cuddle. Open and close, open and close. Don't get in a muddle. And then from here, we're going to work into the knees and into the hips to the Grand Old Duke of York. So again, this helps to move the digestion a little bit. So you really might get a present after this. So as we go through the Grand Old Duke of York, we're going to do 1 foot at a time, just bringing the knee up, bringing the leg down, and then onto the opposite. But if you know the song, when we were up, we were up. We're going to go 2 legs. And when we were down, we were down. We're just going to let the feet bounce in our hands. Okay? So here we go. Oh, the Grand Old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Let's go doubly fast, just to encourage some giggles and really get those legs moving. So here we go. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Yay! Good job, guys. And then from here, we're going to take the babies on a little journey to the moon. So coming over to a kneeling position. So again, if you want to be kneeling on a blanket, you're welcome to do that. If your little one doesn't have great neck control, you want to just keep them up here and we're just going to bounce with it. Everybody else, we're going to hold them under the arms. So we're going to come down to a kneeling position and say, zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. And when you're up in this position, really hold it in your tummy muscles and squeeze in your glutes. And then coming back down. And hopefully you didn't get a massive crack in my knees there. I don't really know what that was. That's a bit worrying. Here we go again. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Up we go. Yeah. Hold it in those tummy muscles. Coming back down. One last time. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Yay. And then from there, we're going to come back down and we're going to focus in on your ab muscles now. So either baby can be lying on a blanket alongside you, or you can use them as a bit of extra weight as we move through the exercises. But again, here, please, please, please just listen to your body, particularly if you've had an abdominal birth or you're still quite early in postpartum. Stick to the earlier levels. We're going to move through them gradually and I'm going to give you shout outs. If you are pregnant as well, stick to the earlier ones. Don't move up into the gradual progressions here. So crunches and abs aren't the best way for bringing those abs muscles back together. So as you separate out, which is natural as you're pregnant, we want to start to bring them back together postpartum. And the best way to do that is really working on your pelvic alignment and doing gentle ab movement to start to just bring them back together, rather than fanning out crunches, which just sort of focuses this area, and you want to almost like a zip, working from the bottom up. So crunches is just focusing on this top bit. So really trying to avoid crunches in those first 6 months if you can. So coming to a position on your back, I'm just going to lie down. Hopefully you can hear me and see me okay down here. Taking your feet at a 45-degree angle. I think that's a 45-degree angle. Mass isn't a big subject. You're going to baby line alongside you if you'd like. Again, if you want to be held, they might want to be held. You're perfectly welcome to have them lying up on your chest. And then just having your arms alongside you, we're going to just start with little pelvic tilts. So if you're earlier in your postnatal period, you're going to stick with this as we build up through the different levels. So you just stay here. So all you're going to do is take a breath, push the back and the feet into the ground and gently tilt the pelvis, so the pubic bone, towards the ceiling. So your bottom cheeks will come off the floor ever so slightly. And while you're doing that, really focus in on pulling into the abs just underneath your belly button. And then bringing that back down. And we're going to do that another 2 times. So pushing into the floor, tilting up the pelvis, drawing in on those abs, really focusing on pulling them back towards your spine. Coming back down, one last time. Tilting the pelvis, lifting the bottom cheeks off ever so slightly, and we'll just hold here and pull in on all the muscles that support the pelvis, and then coming back down. And so you can either stay here, or we can bring baby in, popping them up onto her tummy, and we're going to move into a bridge. So we're going to start as we did before, so tucking the pelvis under, pushing into the feet, pushing into the upper back, tilting the pelvis, and then just go with it, rising off the ground. So really bringing, you might have to hold it, as I've always said, babies, you might have to hold on to the baby's hands here. I've just got a floating baby here. And then coming back down again. Vertebrae by vertebrae, not coming down too fast. The key is to do it slowly so that you really target and engage those ab muscles. So tucking under, lifting the pelvis up, coming into this bridge position, and then tucking and coming back down. And then one last time, tilting and tucking and pulling up. Squeezing in at the top and then coming back down. And then if you know that your abs are getting fairly stronger, you could add in the next level, which is to have your arms up overhead. And then we're going to do as we did before, so tucking the pelvis, staying here if that's good for you with the pelvis tucked, or lifting up into the bridge, and then if you can, adding in the arms to bring the arms as you come up. And then the arms go back overhead as you drop the bottom slowly towards the ground. So only working on this with the arms if you know that your abs are strong enough to do this. And then we're just going to do another 2 more times at whatever level you're at. Tuck it under, pull it up, bring it in the arms. Coming back down. And then 1 more time. Tuck in, tailbone under, pulling up, bringing in the arms, all the way down, squeezing at the top, and then coming back down in the other direction. And then from here, we're going to come on to our left-hand side. I'm going to sit up so don't be distracted by me. So coming onto your left-hand side alongside baby, pulling them in close. We're going to take a couple of moments for relaxation, she says, as you're all in a room with a baby. We're going to try and take a moment for relaxation. So lying on your left-hand side, cuddled into baby, legs at a 45-degree angle. Just tuning in with the breath. Tuning in with their breath, maybe placing a hand on their tummy. Really letting the breath go into the body and out through the body. So as it comes in through the nose and then opening the mouth and letting the breath escape. That's quite a nice relaxing breath. So bringing it in through the nose and releasing out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you stay there relaxing, breathing in, tuning in with baby, I'm just going to read you a little poem that I found on the internet. It didn't give a credit, so I'll credit it from familypoems.com. There we go. So as you're lying, relaxing, breathing with baby, just take a moment to hear these words. If I could go back to a time for a while, it would be to the moment I first saw you smile, to the time when you tottered that first wobbly walk, to the moment you babbled, turned into a talk. I would lie you down and hold you after your bath. I would tickle your toes and cherish your laugh. The look in your eyes when you suddenly knew the face in the mirror was sweet little you. That giggle you gave with a look of alarm as you realised that your hand was attached to your arm. The times when you cried as you woke in the night, I held you and rocked you and tucked you in tight. The moments you showed you were caring and kind, so proud and so strong of your beautiful mind. These moments were riches beyond all else. You won over my soul, my all, and myself. And from there, slowly coming up to a seated position, so you might like to place your hand onto the floor to gently push yourself up. And then coming to a cross-legged position, maybe bringing baby back up to sit in your lap. We're just going to sing a little closing song. Namaste, namaste, peace and love to you today. Thank you for our lovely play. Namaste and Om Shanti. Om Shanti, ladies, and Om Shanti, babies. Hope you guys had a lovely time today in class. I really appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out to be here with us today. And I really am very grateful for the Positive Birth Company giving me the opportunity to present this class to you. So thank you, everybody. I would love to hear if you enjoyed class, and you can always send me a little message on my social media channels. And also if you had any photos of the babies during class, I would love to see that as well. It makes it all worthwhile to see the smiling faces, and I obviously didn't see that today because we're via YouTube. So if there's any smiling photos of the babies, I would love to see them. Or crying, you know, I'm not I'm not that, you know, I'll take a crying baby as well as a smiling baby. But anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed class, and I would love to see you again. Namaste, guys. Bye, everyone.